Okay, Sarah, this is the outside Mediterranean part of Herod's great harbor, the greatest harbor in the world at that time. It really was.
Okay, why did he choose this location?
Well, I'll tell you, at that time, of course, you had a harbor down at Jaffa, right below Tel Aviv again, but that was a very, very nationalistic, very Jewish city, and he knew if he brought a Roman city, in effect, to Jaffa, it would be trouble. It would be big trouble. And so that was closer to Jerusalem than this location, but this was the best location to choose for a number of other reasons. And so he did just the amazing, what you think can't be done. They actually took wooden boxes and started building walls out here in the ocean, dropping in those blocks. And of course they had discovered, the Romans had, the new concrete that could set underwater, and so he could build these blocks. And so what you're standing on is really over, very close to the old harbor wall of breakwater. So you had water that was about 200 feet deep.
Oh, wow.
And so big ships, didn't matter the size of the ship, they could come in here. And of course, when water is still and calm, it's not a problem. But think about wintertime. If you try to get near the shore and the wave action is strong, you're going to break up your ship. So you need to have an arm go out into the ocean and then bend this way and block all that ocean coming in. And so they'd come in, like right here, and then they could moor right over this way. And so, and of course, what would they see when they came in? They would see the temple to Augustus Caesar, who was Herod's patron, of course, the one who allowed him to continue to be king, because he had supported Mark Antony. He was worried that he would not be king still. So just an amazing thing, the size of what he did here, and all in one lifetime. And of course, according to Josephus, 12 years. So, and of course, we also have the Hippodrome. We also have the theater. The theater has an interesting story I guess we ought to mention. Think about the theater when Agrippa came there. Now, Agrippa is just an amazing story. I'm amazed they have not made a movie about Agrippa. Herod's life was so dramatic. I would say Agrippa's was even more dramatic.
Oh, man.
It's unbelievable. Oh yeah, he was a prisoner in chains in Rome at one point.
Oh, wow.
He was a wealthy man at another point. He was king at one point. It's just so many different things happened. But at one point, because his good friend was Caligula. Now Caligula was the Roman Caesar that was very wicked. He didn't last as the Caesar very long, I think 4 years. So, but when he became the Caesar, he took his good friend who was in jail, had a chain, and said, I'm gonna give him another chain made out of gold.
Oh my goodness.
And then he said, I'm gonna give you all your grandfather's kingdom. And so he received just so much of this land. And then at one point was in that theater, and he was wearing a robe. This is all from Josephus. That was, I mean, it's mentioned in the book of Acts, but some of these details are from Josephus. A robe that was made of silver. And so when he came out and all the people saw the sun shining on that robe, it was bright, looked like they're looking at the sun, and that's when they said, the voice of a God, not of a man. And he did not give credit to God. And the book of Acts tells us an angel of the Lord struck him down, and of course he was taken to that palace that we visited earlier, and there he died 5 days later. Very painful death, we're told by Josephus.
How deep is it?
Well, now it's not, it looks to be about 20 something deep, but see, they built up this, and anytime you build, you get storms, and it's going to bring in sand, it's going to bring in, you know, it's going to, so it starts filling
so
up.
It starts filling.
Yeah,
That
but
makes
this was deep here, and that's why they chose this spot. They had a place where the ocean dropped very quickly, so that meant they could build out and across, and as this concrete is here now, basically this was the shape of the harbor. It would have gone more. And an aerial view, you can actually see the remains out there. You can see the shape. And so when the water's clear, you get a good view from above, you can see it.
Okay.
It's very scary. Much power in there. You don't want to be right here next to it. That's the
Do it.
Okay.
It's very powerful, yes.
Oh yeah.
And it's just so intense.
Okay, what do we have down here? It looks like these are round amidst a wall. And the answer is very often what people would do, like if the Crusaders were here or during the Islamic period, they would, instead of going to the work of making new stones themselves, they would just steal what was around the ground. And so if they're pillars, they could take those and see they're different sizes, different materials. You have granite, you have marble, and they would just stick them and use them as building stones. And so, you see this all over. You see it in Jerusalem. I'll show you some examples. One case, there near the Temple Mount, it's actually on the steps that Jesus would have walked up, going up to the temple. You'll see an old piece of stone with carving, and it's all upside down. And so it would have been used back in the 1st century. And then when they did some reconstruction, they said, well, there's a piece of stone that would fit this place. And so they took it and let's put it in place.
Did a lot of recycling then.
A lot of recycling. Yeah, that's right.
Stone recyclement.
Yeah, uh-huh.